Hey, everybody. I just wanted to show you a couple of questions and how the answers differentiate. The reason I created this program is because although I was a police officer, I don't know all the rules and all the regulations, especially from different states. And sometimes when you're in the middle of writing, you need an answer pretty quick so you can build your scene and you don't lose momentum. I had the luxury of, if I got stuck on crime stuff, I can call up some friends and buddies and FBI guys or whatever that I've worked with and get some answers from them. But a lot of times, you send an email and you're not going to get an answer for a couple of days. So that's really the impetus for creating this. I know that I'm sure other people were in the same boat as me, and even though I had an advantage, I still needed to get information. So I'm going to go through this and just put in a couple of put in a question just so you can see the difference. So I'm going to start with thriller. I'm going to use California, and I'm going to go with scene ready. And I have a question here that I've prepared. So if you are working undercover and your partner stuffs a stack of money into his coat after a drug bust, and he notices that you saw him, so he just gives you a wink and keeps collecting the rest of the evidence. Can you be held accountable if you don't say anything and later down the road he's investigated by IA? Okay, so that's your typical scene. You're undercover and your partner or the person you're with takes a stack of money and takes it with him. So we're going to ask the question. It's going to build it, and it builds it in real time, and then it'll format it for you. Right here, off the bat, you can see that it's has a couple different sections that it's putting together. And I like the common misconceptions. That's a good section. It's given us defense angles. That's what a DA might say if this goes to court. And some drama options, some dramatic levers, as they call them. And the very last part is case studies. Okay, so it starts out by saying this is a great scenario for a thriller because it puts your protagonist in exactly the kind of slow burning moral and legal peril that makes readers turn pages at 2 a.m. Let me walk you through what's actually happening here legally and procedurally because the stakes are genuinely serious. Okay, so this is approaching it as a story consultant for you, and it's going to give you the plain language definition. Theft under the color of authority. Then it gives you a typical procedure. Partner pockets the cash. Your protagonist sees it. The wink happens. This is the moment the clock starts. Evidence is logged. Time passes. IA opens an investigation. The protagonist is interviewed. It goes on and gives you information here like common misconceptions. Staying silent is safe because you didn't actually do anything. In reality, in California, peace officers have an affirmative duty to report misconduct they witness. And it goes on and gives you some examples. Here's another myth. Since they weren't read Miranda rights, anything they say in the IA interview is protected, and tells you the reality of it. It also gives you defense angles, what a defense may argue. Don't want to read all this for you through here, but you can get the overall idea. It's pretty thorough, and it is crafting it for you as a writer and as a thriller suspense. Most cinematic moment, the IA investigator slides a photograph across the table showing the exact angle of the security camera your protagonist never noticed, the one that caught the wink. Okay, that's pretty cool. So what I want to do now is I want to show you, I'm going to go into veteran detective mode. I'm going to keep everything the same, and we're going to ask the same question again, just so you can see the difference. Sometimes it's got some really fun humor in it. I don't know if it will for this one. Oh, I like this. The very first line is, "Here's the brutal truth about that wink. It's not just a friendly gesture between partners, it's a contract. The moment your eyes meet and you both know what just happened, you are in it together." That's pretty cool. So, um, the veteran detective is really fun. It's going to answer these from the point of view of a veteran detective, and it may even give you some examples of how things went wrong for him in certain cases. It's a The answers are really cool, and if you're writing that sort of detective noir or something like that, um, it's a great response format. So I'm not going to read it for you, but let me see if there's something here I can pick out for you. Uh, let's see. All right, how about this? The devastating kicker for your story is this: your partner knows all of that too, which means the wink wasn't just a secret between friends, it was leverage. The moment he winked and you stayed quiet, he owned a piece of you. And a dirty cop who gets investigated by IA has every incentive in the world to give them something bigger to chew on. And you just became the something bigger. 20 years I've watched good cops get ground up by this exact machine, not because they were dirty, but because they were loyal, which in certain situations turns out to be the same thing. So that's what I'm saying about the POV of a detective. It's pretty cool. So just wanted to give you an example of uh, how the answers vary, and if you were in cozy mystery, it would give you the answer that you would want to hear, because a cozy mystery usually involves an amateur sleuth. So it's going to answer it that way. Now, here's your questions here on the left hand side, and you can either export questions one at a time, or you can just hit export session, and it's going to export all the questions that you might have here on the left hand side. So you can refer to them and use them later on. So when you're stuck at 2 a.m. and you're trying to write a scene, and you got multiple bodies down, you got evidence, trace evidence, and you got footprints by a window, and you got a knife stuck in some guy's chest, what are you going to collect first or document first? Well, the detective can walk you through that scene. All right, give it a shot, try it out. It's a lot of fun.